You're watching NFL Daily, presented by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com/chat. Get 20% off. Your balls will thank you. Trust me. I'm Harrison Graham. He's Tom Downey. We can both attest to this product. We'll tell you a little bit more about that later on in the show. So let's get into a Q&A. Use hashtag NFL, or you can super chat to get your questions on the show. Let's go to Jace, who asked, what do you think of trading Russell Wilson to the Texans for Deshaun Watson and a third-round pick?
The issue here is that Seattle would be getting rid of Wilson's contract at a significant loss in salary cap space.
Yes.
You're talking $40 million. And then you got to give $40 million to Deshaun Watson. Now, if we want to just do the hypothetical and ignore the practicality of the money side of it, I still kind of think both teams say no.
Well, my thing is Russell Wilson better than Deshaun Watson right now? Yes, but I think it's close. And Deshaun's, 6 years younger? Why would they trade for a guy who's 6 years older to get maybe marginally better quarterback play in Russell Wilson? It doesn't make sense.
It's one of those where both teams are like, yeah, we got really good quarterbacks. It's not broken. Let's not try and mess things up.
Yeah, well, the Texans might pull the trigger on that trade, knowing how they've operated in recent months. Let's go to Kevin Otto using hashtag NFL. Should the Seahawks sign Devontae Freeman?
If they're really worried about Rashad Penny and or Chris Carson playing week 1, yeah, maybe that makes sense. But Seattle's got to just throw the football with Russ. Just do that. Don't give the ball to Marshawn Lynch 15 times a game. Throw it. It bothers me.
They keep adding receivers and they don't maximize them. Lockett, if Lockett was playing in New Orleans, he'd have 1,400 yards a year. It makes no sense whatsoever. Let's go to King Higgins using hashtag NFL. Opinions on Ronald Jones. I don't think the Bucs should give up on him yet. Played a little bit better last year, Tom, but to me, rotation type of back.
Yeah, I really liked Ronald Jones out of USC because there was explosive plays. He had a ridiculous number of 20-plus yard runs at USC. He didn't have a single run over 10 yards last year, in his first year. Busted out like a 49, 48-yard run this past year. I can't remember how many more 20-plus yards runs he has, but the guy I saw at USC, this home run threat, has never appeared in Tampa. And that's the issue for me, is that the Bucs didn't get the guy that he was in college. That's a huge issue.
Yeah, the Pac-12 is a little bit different than the NFL. That's all
he seemed to lose confidence in his first year and then kind of bulked up, and I just think he's never been right in Tampa.
Look, he's a fine number 2, number 3 guy. I think his days of being a starter are probably shot there. This super chat coming in from the Cowboys Report. We're simulcasting live both on the Cowboys and on Chat Sports. This one coming in from Poppy. Can Blake Jarwin have a breakout season with all the wide receiver talent on the field? I'll give my 2 cents real quick, Tom.
Good.
Then you can go. I do think he will be more featured in the offense, but there's also CeeDee Lamb now, so the wide receivers are going to get a lot of reps. I think he'll have a bigger role, though.
I think you're going to have a much bigger role for Blake Jarwin. The big thing for me is that you got some targets to spread around. Because, yes, you bring in CeeDee Lamb, you lose Jason Witten, and you lose Randall Cobb. So Are the Cowboys going to throw it as much as they did last year? No, I don't really think so. But Randall Cobb and Jason Witten both got 83 targets last year.
Yeah.
You can give 80 to Randall Cobb or to CeeDee Lamb. You can take 40 of those and give them to Blake Jarwin. Now he's at 80 targets. So, yes, I think he can.
I think a wild card in this, too, Tom, is Dallas going to be down as much in the fourth quarter in a lot of these games? Will Dak have the inflated passing attempts this year? We'll see. Plus, I think Tony
attempts were average across the league, just so we're clear.
I also think I still think he'll have less this year. I also think Tony Pollard will get more targets, so you got to factor
20 last year, give him 35, 40-ish, maybe. I think that works out pretty well.
This one coming in from Raw Man. Cowboys lack player leadership. What do you think? I think Dak's a pretty good leader overall. And now this offseason, maybe you could throw that into slight question, but I think the guys in that locker room would stand up.
I mean, you can ask any player, like what makes Dak special? And the first thing out of their mouth is his leadership.
Yeah, it's not his play.
So offensively, I feel pretty good about that. Like Dak's a really good leader, and unless the players line everyone's faces, I believe that. Defensively, that was an issue last year.
Yeah.
Because Sean Lee took a step back. They were hoping for some combination of Tank or Jalen Smith to step up, and I think they kind of got caught in this awkwardness of like, well, Lee's our leader, and he's still here. They're just the transition of it wasn't smooth, and not only that, there were some major chemistry issues between coaching staff and coaching players last year.
I will say I can attest. DeMarcus Lawrence has become that rah-rah guy in the past couple of years, being in that locker room some. He is that guy. The problem is when you just don't play well as a unit, it doesn't really matter where the leadership comes into play.
There's the snowball effect type of deal. I completely agree.
Exactly. So hopefully that'll turn the corner this year. Thanks for the super chats. We're simulcasting live on Chat Sports and on the Cowboys Report. You got more Cowboys questions? Go ahead and follow my guy Tom Downey here at WhatGoingDowney on Twitter. He's the best in the business when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. He's the host of the Cowboys Report. Go ahead and give him a follow at WhatGoingDowney.
Yeah, and if you have just general NFL questions as well, feel free to DM me. I'm on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney. The DMs are open for that exact same reason.
All right, let's go to our next question here from Manas Bolanini. I don't know if that's correct.
Hey, you know what? Better effort than we've seen sometimes on the show.
Yeah, that's no Mitchell
That's
Renz
a
right
tough
there. Kenny Stills to the Chargers. Look, the big question here is the Texans, are they going to trade one of these guys? Because even though they got a lot of flack for moving Hopkins, they got a lot of receivers down
Which
there.
they should have just kept with Hopkins, but that's beside the point. Manas, if you haven't already, we do have a trade video on the channel that I actually shipped Kenny Stills to the Chargers for a late-round pick because I think it makes a lot of sense. They could use a vertical threat. Yeah, Stills is maybe a little bit expensive in that role, but I think it'd be a good fit.
All right, let's go to Winston Shan representing Mitchell Renz today with the stash. Mitch's stash is terrible. Do you like the idea of the Saints trading for Josh Rosen in 2021? I got to get this out there because I have strong opinions about Josh Rosen.
Okay.
We got to let go of this idea that Josh Rosen has been totally screwed in the NFL. Okay? Guys with equal amount of talent have been in bad situations before and have not played as bad as him. Has he been in a great situation? No. But Ryan Fitzpatrick outplayed him by a country mile last year, and that says a lot to me.
And yeah, I think you're right there, and the reality is we were too high on Rosen, especially me. I think the problem here is that there's a direct correlation between investment into a player and the results you get from them. Like first-round picks have a higher hit rate. A, they're better players. B, they get more chances.
Yep.
The issue now with Rosen is that any team that trades for him is not going to be investing a lot in him.
Yeah, he won't be a starter.
They're taking a flyer chance on him, and they'll move on quickly. And that puts Rosen in a really tough spot in New Orleans, regardless, who maybe they're just going to end up rolling with Taysom Hill for at least a year. Who knows?
All right, best way to get on the show, you can super chat like my man Brian did here. Would you be surprised if the Patriots win more games than Brady and the Bucs do this season? What do you think?
I think I'd be a little bit surprised, but I think it's very much within the range of outcomes. Do you know what I really wanted to see happen? I wanted to see Belichick sign Winston and win more games than the Bucs and just give that middle finger to Brady and be like, yeah, look what we just did.
Go ahead and answer this question. Any for Patriots, TB for Bucs. I'll say this. The Bucs clearly have a better roster. The reason the Patriots might win more is Belichick's a better head coach than Bruce Arians, and the AFC East is much easier than the NFC South. So I'll give them a puncher's chance, but I'm still going to type my TV.
Yeah, I'm going to lean Bucs as well, especially like if you just want to go who's more likely to make the playoffs. I'm also going to go with the Bucs.
Another super chat rolling in from Colin. Is that Christian McCaffrey break the stigma about paying running backs? He's the exception right now because he's a running back receiver hybrid. He can rush for 1,000 and catch for 1,000.
Yeah, and I think that's why maybe you feel a little bit more confident about paying McCaffrey than, for example, Tagovailoa, who, yes, was used in the passing game, but had some injury problems. Like, even if you just look at the receiving totals from the past 3 years, McCaffrey, 80 for 651 and 5 scores, 107 for 867 and 6 scores, 116 for 1,004.
Yeah.
Like, that's number 2 receiver. And a running backs get paid like number 2 receivers. So, yeah, the workload is a concern because he gets so many touches, but McCaffrey's play style, I think, makes some sense here for maybe he's the one who the contract after 3 years, you still feel pretty good about it.
All right, let's go to Luke. Seeing that Aldon Smith was reinstated, do you think this makes Gregory's chances to get reinstated better? I don't know if the two are connected, but if you guys have missed it, Aldon Smith has been reinstated by the NFL. Tom over here was breaking it down on the Cowboys Report, which we're still simulcasting on that channel. Give us a few extra details there, Tom.
Yeah, we'll break this down a lot more coming up here in our news and rumors section on the live show. We'll discuss Randy. I think it does maybe confirms he has some good chances. I'm pretty sure Aldon Smith applied for reinstatement first, so not a huge surprise he's the first one to get reinstated. I just am curious to see where things are at with Gregory, because I haven't heard that he's met with Goodell yet, and we're also like a year away from Gregory's going to be reinstated. He's applied, and all of a sudden it disappeared late in the process. So it's all kind of tricky and confusing.
Yeah, so we'll see if Randy Gregory is the next to get reinstated, but good news for the Cowboys today. They will have Aldon Smith. I think next week he can start joining them in the virtual offseason program. All right, guys, spam the comments with your favorite team. Go ahead and shout out your favorite team down in the comments. Here's the deal, guys. The team represented the most is going to get a Q&A. We did a Seahawks one today. Whichever team gets represented most on this video will get the next team-related Q&A. So go ahead and shout out your favorite team.
You can spam it if you need to. We can count your votes multiple times.
More than one answer.
Okay. Yeah. So shout out your favorite team. Like Harrison said, we did Seahawks earlier today. We'll see which team is up next. We'll let you guys decide. I see some Seahawks in there. It's on the channel. Go check it out, guys.
Yeah, went out at, I believe, 2 o'clock or 11 o'clock today, 2 o'clock.
11 a.m. Central Time.
Earlier today, so go check that out, youtube.com/chatsportstv. Just go look at recent videos on the channel. All right, Chase Cooper asks, who will win the NFC East? For me, it's obviously the Eagles because the Cowboys suck. Fly, Eagles, fly.
No bias there whatsoever. Just being a fan. I actually feel decent about the Cowboys' chances, but it's going to come down to Philly and Dallas. I think that's pretty darn clear.
Yeah, of course. I don't think the Redskins and the Giants are in the mix at all. We got another super chat coming in from Jacob Raleigh. Should Dallas have signed Byron instead of Zeke? I think I know your answer, Tom.
Yeah, should have. It's a running back, guys. You don't pay the back. Zeke played his hand to perfection in the end.
Yes.
Because had he waited and done the good teammate thing and showed up to camp and not held out, I'm not sure he's got his deal yet. I think Zeke's team knew this, that he pushed the envelope. He jumped the line by holding out, and it got him paid.
And guess what? That's why Dak hasn't compromised yet, because he knows that the Cowboys will budge at the end of the day.
The best offer comes right before the deadline. Why would you take it before
that? That is July 15th for the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott. All right, guys, we mentioned today's show is brought to you by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com/chat. You can get the Lawnmower 3.0, Tom. This is one of the best things out there.
I like that you can use it in the shower because then the hair doesn't get everywhere else. It just makes your life a little bit easier. It's rechargeable. Well, it's fantastic. Manscaped.com/chat. That gets you 20% off. You'll feel better. You'll look a little bit better. You'll look a little bit bigger as well. Harrison's fiance can confirm as well.
Hey, I absolutely can confirm that. Hey, Mitchell Rentz, it's multi-use, by the way. He shaved with this thing live on the Raiders Report recently. Shaved his face, not,
Thank you, producer Alicia, for interjecting.
We're not, X-rated here at Chat Sports. Shaved his face. It works up there as well. But your balls will thank you.
He shaved his other cheeks.
On that. Yeah, that's a good one. Manscaped.com/chat. We'll get the link in the comments and in the description. 20% off when you use promo code CHAT. So it's right there for you guys. Manscaped.com/chat. Get some more questions coming your way here. #NFL. How many sacks for Aldon Smith this season? I think 4. That feels about right.
Preach it, Bray. Yeah, I think that's a much more realistic expectation. He hasn't played since 2015. People are in my mentions in the chat on both Cowboys and Maine saying, well, what about 10? Jeez, guys, calm down a little bit here.
He hadn't played in 5 years.
Got to dial it back. If you get 4 or 5, you feel pretty good about that signing.
I mean, has a player ever been off for 5 years and come back, honestly? I'd have to look up history. I don't know if a player who's gone 4 seasons in between playing, and you guys think he's going to get double-digit sacks.
Back in the war, that's when.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Super chat from Dr. Lubo here. What about Jamal Adams to the Cowboys?
What is dead may never die. There is a chance, yes. there isn't going to be any progress until Adams really begins his negotiations with the Jets on an extension. And if things go well, then he's going to sign and there's not going to be a trade. If things go poorly, then a trade becomes a little bit more likely. I think right before the start of the season and trade deadline are maybe your two windows of opportunity if there's going to be an Adams trade.
Lots of super chats coming in. Let's go to Brian here. Do you believe the number of Dak wanting $45 million on year 5? The answer is yes, and Tom will explain why it makes sense.
Stay tuned for rumors and news here on the show. It shouldn't be a surprise. It shouldn't be confusing. I'm not surprised people have freaked out because that's kind of a sticker shock number, but it actually makes a lot of sense here.
Yeah, stick around. Rumors and news coming up in a few minutes.
We'll break it down.
We'll get to that in just a few moments. A lot of super chats to get to. Marcus Clark, honest opinion on why D-Law underperformed last year. The defense stunk as a whole, and he got double-teamed a lot.
He didn't finish as well as he normally does. There were a couple times, like, he got his hand on. I think there was one play, he knocked the ball loose, got picked back up, and, fell forward for, 0-yard gain. So it doesn't count as a sack, technically.
Yeah.
The pressure rate dropped a little bit. The shoulder still kind of bothered him a little bit.
I was going to say, I think waiting, maybe a month or two extra later than he needed to work out the contract probably slowed the start of his season down. So I think that could have factored in as well.
Look, the pressure rate was still pretty high. Sacks can be a little bit inconsistent from year to year. I feel very confident he's going to bounce back in 2020 with another close, if not above, double-digit sack season.
All right, we're just curious. Would you go to an NFL game if fans are allowed in stadiums? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Go ahead and let us know. Would you go to a game if you are allowed to this season?
I think I would. I would certainly be safe about it, especially if they don't have maybe full capacity stadiums. I'd do it because at that point it's gonna be safe enough to do.
Yeah, look, if these stadiums put the safe measures in place, and it's not just a free-for-all running all over these parking lots, with tailgating and all of that, if proper measures are taken, sure, why not? I mean, if safety is, being counted on there, I think I would as well. Let's go to Anthony. Cam Newton to the Ravens or Niners as a backup. Conspiracy theory? Cam goes to San Francisco, Jimmy G struggles early.
Well, I'm told that Nick Mullins is the future in San Francisco, so I don't really think that makes a lot of sense for the Niners. I also don't think Newton's a great fit for what they want to do on offense. He's a fit for the Ravens, but I don't know if he wants to be a backup right now, and that's an issue.
And Baltimore, they're not going to pay premium for him to be the backup. They'll just stick with RG3. Exactly. If he wants to come in for the minimum, fine, but they're not going to pay him $7 million to be Lamar Jackson's backup. All right, let's go to Allen. How will Ben and Juju play together this season? Also, Tom, don't tell Mitch I like you more.
I'm going to tell Mitch.
He's probably watching the show. Secret's out, Alan. He's obviously talking about Roethlisberger and Smith-Schuster there.
Yeah, I'm hoping for 2018 production. And I say that totally unbiased as a Juju Smith-Schuster dynasty fantasy owner. But I also think that's a reasonable expectation. We're kind of over-the-top negative to receivers when they have a down year because their quarterbacks were bad.
People forget how good he was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
People were saying, is Juju better than Antonio Brown? Now, I wasn't there, but there was...
Now I am.
Well, yes, because one's in the league and one's not. But it was a legitimate argument 2 years ago.